everybody. I am back. It's time for our third interview of the evening with a beautiful podcast babe, an author that has contributed to our Podcast Babes Anthology, all about turning your pain into power. I'm so excited for this next author. Let me get her live with us. Let's see. I cannot wait to hear from her. I have to say that there has been such beautiful... Oh, there she is! Hi, pretty lady.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Everybody, this is AJ Beaber, and she has a beautiful chapter within our book, and I think that it's such an amazing chapter, and like we have said in the other interviews, there is something for everybody in this book, and I love the way that you are so vulnerable in expressing everything in your chapter. And so I'm wondering, as you were writing your chapter, did you have any resistance to writing it?
Oh, absolutely resistance to writing it. I think anybody would as they're tapping into that vulnerability and that pain and being able to share their story. But I actually tonight, Kat, I wanted to take us down a little bit of a background of the Shero's journey, if you're okay with that. Because I
Absolutely.
feel like it's so important, especially after listening to Simona and listening to Celia.
Go
So
for it.
I've got to share this story with you. So when Kat and I met, I could tell immediately that she has this incredible gift to be able to organize so well. And I'm talking about organize to a level to see manifestations and to see things happen in a community. Because I'm sure a lot of us are part of different communities and there's different groups out there. But the biggest piece that I noticed with the podcast babes is things were getting done. Like people were getting all these rewards and things were being followed up on and everybody was being supported. And that was a really big deal for me to join the community and kind of watch from the sidelines. So when we met, I had this download that I was supposed to get on TikTok and start sharing with women how to write their story. And it was going to be called The Shero's Journey. And I'd had this download. I knew exactly what it was going to look like. And then you invited me on your podcast. And the day that we did the podcast together on Everyday Magic, we were talking and you mentioned something about you writing a book and I said, oh my gosh, well, by the way, I'm going live tonight. You should join and tune into the series. You're like, that's what I want to do. I want to join and listen in on what it is you're going to be talking about because I want to write this book. So that night, there was something that came up. There was something with my kids or something. I wasn't able to actually go live. And I'm like, oh man, like some of us have these moments where we have these downloads and we think it means something, right? It has a certain way that it's supposed to look, the how of it. And so as I just relaxed into the vulnerability of it, I think it was like maybe 2 weeks later, you reached out and said, hey, AJ, do you think you might want to come in and teach your Shero's journey to this group of women? And but first I said no. I was like, no, Kat, I have too many things on my plate. I got to set a boundary here. But the truth is, every day from that, and I remember you said, okay, I'll talk to you on Friday. And then every day until Friday, because I think we talked on a Monday, I just sat there and every morning it was on my heart. This is what you need to do. All the time will be made for you. Do this, follow this. And so it gave that download that I had a purpose. And that was, huh. So to talk about resistance, when I came in and I mean, first of all, we had Nina who set up the whole thing about authors and how to be an author and how to share your story and step into that place of being able to write your book. And so she brought in this incredible energy where everybody was already like, yes, I can write my story. I can do this. And it was so powerful. And the next week I came in and did the Shero's Journey structure. And here's the funny thing. I already have a story that I share with women on that pain to purpose, pain to power. And it's a very powerful story. But as I got the story ready in the morning that I was going to share, I just knew immediately that it wasn't what I needed to share. I needed to go to a
Yeah.
level of vulnerability of things that I hadn't expressed in public or talked to anyone. So, talk about resistance. But when the resistance hit, I- so much of my life has been about when that resistance hit, I lean into it. When that energy comes in strong, I lean into it. And so I leaned into it and I just started writing. And it was literally an entire day that I wrote my story and that night got on camera for the first time and shared with all of the podcast babes, all of the community. And I felt the love and the support, and it opened up something within me to say, yes, I can share this story in public because I spoke it to clients, I'd shared it with other people in my life,
Yeah.
but I had not shared it in public arenas. So yeah,
I
super
love
excited.
that. So what is that? Has there been something that within you that's shifted now that you've been able to share that?
Massively. So I host a podcast called Ask Better Questions on Purpose that really highlights people's purposes. So you and I met around that time frame, which I would say it was around July or August, or maybe even earlier than that. I can't remember. And at the time, I was, you know how sometimes you have what you think is your purpose, and it might be tied to like a title or this or that or the other thing. And I really believe that purpose is that joy, that expression, that part of you that is actually living. So for me, that's like teaching my Zumba classes because I love to dance. That's part of my soul. I love to write. And so that purpose piece was coming in and ask that question again because I think I just completely got off track from what you just asked me. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. I was I was saying like it was.
That
I
is
love it.
hilarious. I
I
literally just went train that way.
We are live. I was asking that did something shift within you that now you
Yes.
were able to really get that story out?
Yes, thank you. So, yes, it did shift within me because I felt something open up in my heart and I felt like, wow, this is really where I can step in. So, to be vulnerable, the part of the story that I share is the temptation that I had around betrayal and an emotional affair that I was in with a man that I was not proud of because my biggest wound from my childhood was sexual
Mm,
infidelity. It was all of this stuff around betrayal that I had grown up with in my family and in my church and had seen throughout my entire life. So
yeah.
it was a moment to be able to recognize that even though I had all of this, I had come through this space and thought that I was healed because I have a beautiful soulmate that I've been in a marriage for 25 years. I healed so much that I even felt called to write a book. But in that experience, healing can sometimes take many different paths. It's not always a straight path forward. And what I realized is I was being tested. So, talk about leaning in. I was being tested. What is my real truth? What is it I really believe about marriage? What is it that I really believe about sexuality? And so, as I started to question those parts of myself, and especially with those wounds that I healed, it allowed me to have this moment of just divine intervention is all I can say. You have to read the book to understand where the story goes from there. But to have something that is so painful, and sometimes that pain can come because we're asking ourselves questions that we don't know the answers to, and we feel like we're sitting in a place of uncertainty. And so for any woman that has sat there and asked herself, what do I really believe about this? Who am I? Those two questions can throw you into a deeper spiral than I could possibly start to talk about. And I know those of you who are listening have probably experienced within your own life. But those questions, when asked of our spiritual nature and when asked of God to help us shine the light, bring in that love, show me just from around our experiences and the way that life answers our call, that is the things that we follow and leads us down that path of purpose. So for me, it was a big deal because the resistance was I hadn't spoke about it. And now it's taking a new level of compassion because I've been through this experience and being able to share it on a different level, which to me feels like real healing. It feels like I can hold a space for women that are in that place of vulnerability, who have been through sexual infidelity, partners, pornography addictions, sexual trauma, all of those pieces around sexuality, and hold a space for them to be able to share in vulnerability, but also feel their power, because I don't see the pain in it anymore. I know the pain that it creates, but I know the power that comes from that.
Oh, I love that so much. And you should be so proud of yourself, not only for sharing that story, but we literally used your framework of the Shero's journey for everybody's chapter. And so I'm so glad that you brought that up, because without that framework, you, the chapters would not have that, from pain to power arc, right? And so you should be so proud of yourself, because it really truly helped to make such miraculous stories. We all have that story within us of how we overcame, but how you tell the story is also important. And the way that you really brought us through the step-by-step process of how to really articulate our stories and put it through that Shero's journey, it absolutely made all the chapters so incredible. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you and being able to share that with us, and being so generous to be able to share that framework with us so that we could have this incredible anthology together.
Well, let me tell you, thank you, because it gave purpose to that download in a totally different way than I didn't see coming. And it was really special for me as well, because I feel like when we start things, and this is what I see with you as well, is when we start something like this and we hold that space and that container, I knew that I had to be vulnerable in that conversation with the women. And I knew that if I could be vulnerable in that space, then they can be vulnerable in that space. And it opened up a whole world and my heart in a new way. And it was just so incredibly powerful. So I believe that the people who are going to read this book are going to feel that container of each of us that came through this process and be able to feel that power within themselves. And the biggest thing about the Shero's journey is this: there's the hero's journey, which, is written for those of us telling our stories. But the difference of the Shero's journey is it's often an inward. So, like Simona talked about, the thoughts of the mind, and a lot of people talked about their heart or the downloads or these spiritual experiences, because as women, we tend to make all of our transformation internally, and then it comes externally, and we get to see the fruits of that within our lives and the lives of other people. So I literally am brought to tears, because I feel that that experience of you asking me and us being on that podcast together, there's no coincidence
Aww.
to me for what happened.
I love that. And can I tell you a secret? I did not hear no.
I know you didn't. I'll talk to you on Friday. I'm like, wait, what?
I did not hear a no. I heard I'll get back to you at a different time. And I'm so glad that I did not hear that no, because
Yeah.
this Shero's journey, to this collective Shero's journey, would not be the same without you and without that framework. Honestly, it made such a huge difference, and I love that that's how it came together for you and for us, right? Really
For
being
all
able
of
to.
us. That's the power of co-creation, and that's what I see within the podcast babes. And I see how much that when we bring our gifts and talents together, they just magnify and they get bigger, and that's the way that we make a bigger impact into our world. So it was really, I mean, like I said, you guys healed me through that, so we all benefit. It's so powerful. And I met so many incredible people, and I can't wait to meet a bunch of you in person here soon.
Yes, a lot of us are going to be at UPW in October, so that's super
Yes.
exciting. So we get to meet each other in person for the first time and squeeze each other and hug each other. So that's really, really exciting.
Yes, it is really exciting. And all of our launch together, because I have not been able to read all of the chapters of the women here. So I can't wait. I love these interviews because I get to know everyone on a different level, and I'm getting a sneak peek at what your chapter is about, and it makes me want to read it. So I can't imagine how other people feel when they're watching this and want to read it.
It's going to be so exciting. And you guys want to tune in to our book launch on October 18th, where you'll
Yes.
get more of AJ, you'll get more of the other authors, and we have some super secret but wonderful and splendid surprises for you guys on that day. Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much. AJ,
Thank
you are such
you.
a blessing. Thank you for being so generous with us, with your heart, with your spirit, and just everything that you contributed to our community. Not only the Shero's journey, but really just guiding women with social media and bringing all your energy and all your positivity and your vulnerability. It's just such a blessing to have you.
Well, thank you. I feel like I found my tribe. So I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Love you, AJ. I'll see you soon, and I'll see
Love
you guys on
you.
October 18th. Have a good night, everybody. Link is in the bio. Join us.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.